Right, training and girls are starting in the hill.
Nikki, Di, Jess, Shannon, and Jess again. Hey guys, it's Hannah from Train with the Girls. What I want to talk to you all about today is deadlifts and how to correctly perform a deadlift. So for starters, I absolutely love deadlifts. Deadlifts are an amazing exercise to build up your strength and to burn calories. One of the great things about deadlifts is that they work muscles in both your upper and your lower body. So the deadlift uses muscles in your posterior chain, so we're talking glutes, hamstrings. It also works muscles in your back as well as a whole bunch of other muscles. So they are a really, really great exercise. Emma, Amanda, and I do them a couple of times a week. It's important to know how to correctly perform a deadlift. And although a deadlift may look fairly simple, there is actually quite a few things to think about when you're doing a deadlift. You've got to think about what every part of your body is doing. So because you're using both upper and lower body in this exercise, you need to have a think about what are your shoulders doing, what's your chest doing, your core, your lower body. So there are a lot of things to think about to make sure your technique is right. You don't have to feel overwhelmed by it. I'm going to show you exactly how a deadlift works. So one of the first things I want to show you guys is the difference between a squat and a deadlift. One of the things that a lot of people do is when they come into sessions and they first do deadlifts, they get really confused about the difference between a squat and a deadlift, and when they try and do a deadlift, they kind of go into a bit of a squat position. So I'm going to show you what a squat looks like and then what a deadlift looks like, and then you can see the differences. So if you have a look at me side on, you can see that when I'm doing a squat, my hips are coming both back and down, and I'm pressing away from there. When you're doing a deadlift, what's actually happening with your hips is your hips are doing what's called a hip hinge motion. So if you have a think about the hinge on a door, a hinge only can move back and forward. When you're doing a deadlift, that's exactly what you're doing. So when you're doing a deadlift, instead of your hips coming down like it would in a squat, your hips are coming straight back, and then you're pressing through your heels and thrusting forward at the top. So to show you again, hips are coming back and then you're thrusting forward at the top, as opposed to a squat where your hips are coming down. So when you come into that hip hinge motion, you should feel a nice stretch through the back of your legs, so all through your hamstrings. The next thing we want to think about is our back and what our back is doing. So some of you may have seen on the internet, for example, like deadlift fails, and you see people's backs and they are ridiculously rounded. We don't want to have a rounded back when we're doing deadlifts. We want to protect our back. So things we want to think about, we want our core to be squeezed in nice and firmly. We want our shoulders to be back and down, and we want to think about our shoulder blades being squeezed together. So from the side, a deadlift, your upper body should look like this. You can see everything is nice and flat, and I'm gonna thrust forward from there, as opposed to if my shoulders were rounded forward. As you can see, that does not look very safe. There are lots of different types of deadlifts as well, guys. What I just showed you today is a standard barbell deadlift. There is also such thing as a straight leg or a stiff leg deadlift. You can also do deadlifts with dumbbells. So when you're using the bars, so the bar that we've got here, the Olympic bars actually weigh 20 kilos just by themselves for just the bar. So for a lot of people, that's a fair bit of weight, and that can be a little bit intimidating. So what you can actually do is start with dumbbells. So start with a dumbbell in each hand and then practice your deadlift motion from there. From there, what you can do is practice the motion with just the bar, and then you can add the weight on from there. Anyway, guys, if you have any other questions about deadlifts, or if you have any other exercises that you want us to demo for you, just let us know. Anyway, bye.